So here we are. We now have the setup for everything. I've got all of my windows with their. It's okay now to move these around. I've got all of them set up with their top, front, and side orthographic views. And it's easiest to work kind of with the perspective view also. So this 4 window, which you can select by just clicking right over here in the panel layout, this is a good setup. You got a couple others too, but this one right here will give you this 4 panel setup. So some tools that I like, and I really enjoy using the button panel up top here. If I go to my, oh man, I got a lot of button panels, but the custom one, you're only going to have a few. I've got more because I've got all sorts of different things and such going on. But custom is where you can you'll get a blank one. You can just sort of put whatever you want in, and it's pretty straightforward to do this. All you have to do is go to the menu that you want. In this case, I'm missing a tool. They added a new tool that's magnificent. I really like it quite a bit. Where's this multi-cut tool? So I'm going to add that to my custom bar. And to do that, all I have to do is hold down Control and Shift, and then click the multi-cut. And you'll see it adds a little icon for the multi-cut here at the end of my custom bar. So now all I have to do to activate any of these is go up and click on it, and then I can start working on things. I want to kind of go over a few things. We've already talked about how to create basic shapes. So in order to create this object, all right, we're going to go ahead and create a couple of basic shapes. And I'll start with, I might as well just clip this piece out, click on that little dotted line and pull it out. Let's start with a cube for the bottom here. Now, the easiest way to do this, I have a little cheat sheet that I put in the Dropbox. This is for the class, the students who are in the class. But you can click on these right here. They're also hotkeyed Q, W, E, R. So if I want the scaling tool, for example, I'll hit R and it'll move to it. And we'll start off by kind of laying these out. Now I get shaded mode automatically, but I can hit 4 key and it'll show just the outlines. You can see the little green lines. Sometimes it's easier to work with them, sometimes it's not. Especially since everything's kind of gray here. So let's go ahead and, there you go, see right there I hit W key and then move to translate tool. I kind of line these up here. And I can also go to vertex mode to get them very specifically lined up, see, with my reference, right? Going back to object mode, and of course that's just holding down the right click on the mouse. So this is pretty accurate right here, right? Take these ones and just nudge them out, depending on how precise you want to be with this sort of stuff. Alright, and then we can see from the front view that my object is a little too high. So it's a little too tall. There we go. Let's go and take a look at that. And we can grab these vertices. Alright, and I'm going to swap back with W to the translate and pull them on down. There we go. Alright. And then I can go to the side view and I can see, I can give these a little adjust to here and a little adjust to here. And they should be, they're pretty close to all the way accurate. What might help? Probably won't. We're going to just keep it like this for now. Alright, so there we go, right? And then for this top piece, since it's a very circular piece, and I can add on to it, we're going to go ahead and go to sculpting. Polygons. We can use the polygonal pipe is going to be sort of the best choice here. So this time around, I'll put it in the front view. Oh, right, it's going to pop up no matter what. Alright, so we have some options here. If we go over to the channel box, we can rotate this object. We can also rotate it by hand, but it's a little easier just to sort of rotate it here. And what we really want to do is we want to rotate it around the X axis down here, you can kind of see. So if I go to rotate X and set it to 90 degrees, you know, there you go. Pops it right up like such. And the polypipe has some more settings we can adjust here. The radius is obviously going to be something we want to mess with. It might be easier just to scale it. Just because we have a little more hands-on control there. And in this instance, we're kind of working with a fairly small, it's a fairly small scale. There we go. So that means it's a little harder to kind of control. The 1-to-2 ratio is really huge. So if I move from 1 to 2, it jumps quite a bit. All right, so let's go ahead, let's take a look at that. Let's scale now. Thickness. Yes. Set to 0.1, 0.3. There we go. 0.3. Alright. Check it from the side. It is too wide. So, thickness, height, 1. Just pretty close. That's really close. And I can always extrude out, so I think I'll just do that. So, there we go. Okay. And let's see. So everything we need, our base shapes are there for now. There's a number of subdivisions on here, 20 of them. We could probably take that down a little bit. Mostly because it will make it easier to connect this to the base later on to have less. So there, we'll just pull that back on down to 16. Alright, and we'll go ahead and save. And I want to make this little orbital because I'm going to have this thing kind of floating around, and maybe 2 of them kind of floating around the object. So let's make a little orbital on its own, which means we're going to go ahead and grab the box. We'll make a little box here, and I'm going to pull it up just so we can see it a little easier. The reference makes it a little annoying to kind of deal with this, just a tiny bit. But it's a pretty it's a pretty simple little piece of geometry. So we'll just size it down. I'm just going to kind of look at it. It's about the right size. Okay. And now both of these pieces are ready for further modeling, right? We've made the basic shapes that we need. And so now we can move on in the next video to mesh editing and using the mesh tools to further shape all these extra pieces on here, like the trimmings and the bevel bits that it has. Alright, so there you go.